Right now on Action News Live at 6, if you're headed downtown, expect some company. It's going to be crowded with several big events going on. And we've brought you numerous reports involving air conditioning problems at Valley schools. Today, another school sends kids home early because of their AC issues. Welcome to Action News Live at 6. I'm Marco Villarreal in for Steve Wolford. Thank you, Victoria. And the downtown area continues to experience a rebirth of the arts. Today, the Las Vegas Shakespeare Company announced they're setting up shop downtown to open the state's first professional resident theater company. Spencer Lubitz has more. Another school let its students out early today because of air conditioning problems. Orrin Gregson Elementary is having trouble with its AC, and students were dismissed at noon. The school is telling parents it will be an excused absence if they keep their kids at home today. And this isn't the only school to deal with AC issues this week. Parents have brought to our attention at least 2 other schools. John Johnson is picking up his son from school early.
So they had a short day because I guess the air conditioning units are out, so I just decided to come up here and pick him up.
Administrators at Gregson Elementary started making calls early Friday morning, alerting parents the air conditioning in the main building was out.
When I got here this morning, they had all of the teachers passing out notes where you had the option of either leaving the children until 12 o'clock or taking them home, and it would be an excused absence.
A lot of the parents told us that it was this letter that teachers and administrators were handing out this morning that made them feel more comfortable with the way the school was handling this whole issue of having no air conditioning inside the main building. Students that stayed were kept in temporary buildings with working AC. This isn't the first time this school year the AC has gone out at a school. Action News got word from parents the AC at Cully Elementary was having problems, and earlier in the week students were kept home when the air went out at Diskin Elementary.
In the district, we have 357 schools, we have 6,000 air conditioning units, and we have 6 technicians who have to service all of those schools.
Getting the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning units fixed is only a temporary solution, says the Clark County School District. There's a ballot measure that would raise $720 million in 6 years through a property tax hike, with the money used to repair some of the oldest schools in the county.
It will help us take care of those needs that are the most dire, and those AC technicians will not be having to spend as much time rescuing those schools that are really in bad condition.
So what do parents think of the plan?
Yes, I will. They have my vote now, and I'm telling them now. They have my vote now. Yes, they do.
And the school district says their technicians are working hard to get broken systems up and running again, and they sent a statement that reads that the district works hard to avoid inconveniencing parents, and we ask for their patience as we continue to make our students and their safety a priority. The woman who was brutally attacked with a machete by her ex-boyfriend is being remembered tonight. Maria del Carmen Gomez lost her fight with cancer on Wednesday. She was recovering from a brutal attack allegedly carried out by Armando Vergara Martinez. Now her family needs help with funeral costs. They're holding a fundraiser that's going on right now and is going on till 10 tonight at the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union. That's near Washington and Lamb. If you can't make it but you still want to help, log on our website, ktnv.com. The U.S. Secretary of Education has recognized 269 schools as a National Blue Ribbon Schools, and a school in Nevada has been honored with that award. Vanderburg Elementary School in Henderson was recognized with a coveted distinction. The National Blue Ribbon Schools Award honors public and private elementary, middle, and high schools where students perform at a very high level or where significant improvements are being made in students' levels of achievement. The department will honor the winning schools at a recognition ceremony in Washington, D.C. in November. Very important stuff, perhaps most importantly, the crayons, right?
Yes.
Got to have the crayons. Right. Well, so to come on Action News Live at 6, modest job growth for the month of August. We've got to look at what it means here in Las Vegas. And President Obama returns to Las Vegas next week to give a speech in this battleground state. We're still waiting to hear the details on where and when, and as soon as we have that, we'll let you know. After that, he's off to Colorado for another grassroots event. And GOP vice presidential candidate Paul Ryan campaigned in Sparks this morning. He told the crowd at the Peterbilt Truck Parts and Equipment facility that President Obama doesn't deserve another 4 years. Also on the campaign trail with their husbands today, First Lady Michelle Obama and Jill Biden, Mitt Romney's wife, and campaigned in Leesburg, Virginia. And I'll tell you what, Brian Schofield, you're here on the desk with us. I ran into a person today that said, "Oh my goodness, it is so hot." I said, it's under 100 degrees. This is great, right?
I was ready for a punchline. It's so hot, blank. Marco was going to just hit it home.
That's the punchline.
You're right. No, that is the punchline. It's just plain hot out there. And now it's going to get wet. We're going to add more to that. We're going to just splendiferous. Kind of just. Does that work for you?
That is a great word. Yeah. Splendiferous. Let's make that a Wednesday word.
There you go.
Thank you, Brian. And here's a story that's positively Las Vegas. The 911 Angel cars are in town. A lifelong racer came up with the idea to put these cars on tour as a way to honor those who lost their lives on that terrible day 10 years ago. Organizers say people in every town they visit are touched by these symbols. The cars will be in Las Vegas all weekend, throughout the weekend, before heading to Los Angeles. And this is the second tour for the program, which hopes to take the vehicles cross country.
Well, coming up on Action News Live at 6, a scary moment caught on tape.
We'll tell you about a highway patrol officer who's lucky to be alive after this sideswipe on the freeway.
You are watching Channel 13 Action News, where you ask and we investigate. We'll be right back.
Well, it's an air scare that turned into a massive hoax. A passenger who allegedly threatened to blow up a U.S. Airways flight may not have done the threatening at all. The FBI is now investigating the ex-girlfriend of that passenger. Police say that the whole thing began when they received an anonymous tip. That passenger, Christopher Schell, on board a flight at Philadelphia International, was armed with explosives. Fearing the man had snuck a bomb on board, the plane was ordered back to Philadelphia. It was met by an army of FBI and Philadelphia tactical teams. All right, that's not funny, right? Sources say police suspect the nasty trick may have been played by Schell's ex-girlfriend and a male friend timed for Schell's birthday. You just cringe when you watch that. Oh my
God, he's alive, yeah.
Well, coming up on Action News Live at 6:30, the men who want to occupy the White House for the next 4 years, they're hitting the campaign trail. It's a cross-country tour concentrating in battleground states, especially right here in Nevada. Welcome to Action News Live at 6:30. I'm Marco Villarreal, in for Steve Wolford.
And I'm Ricky Cheese, in for Tricia Keene. We begin tonight with the red, white, and blue 2012 political coverage. Now that the conventions are over and the candidates are officially nominated, it's time to hit a campaign trail that leads to Nevada, one of the key battleground states.
And the race is tight. President Obama and Mitt Romney are virtually tied in the polls. ABC TJ's Winnick shows us how close this race really has become. And that whole thing was...
Well, my big question was, I wasn't worried about the chair, but shouldn't somebody have told him to comb his hair? I didn't understand why. What was with the do? You know?
Would you tell him, though, at 82 years old, if he came at me angry, I would still respect.
I wouldn't want to make his day like that.
Exactly. There you go.
In tonight's Casino Report.
And jurors are speaking out in the Drew Peterson case. Peterson was convicted of first-degree murder in the 2004 death of his third wife, Kathleen Savio. The unanimous verdict came after 9 hours of deliberation. 11 jurors agreed Peterson was guilty of first-degree murder in Savio's mysterious death, but it took 5 more hours Thursday to convince holdout Ron Supalo. Savio and Peterson were in the middle of a contentious divorce when she was found dead in a dry bathtub in 2004. Peterson, a former suburban Chicago police officer, was charged after her body was exhumed and her death reclassified a homicide. Peterson could now face up to 60 years in prison. 5 Maryland high school football players have been kicked off their team for allegedly hiring prostitutes. DeMatha Catholic High School is nationally renowned for its athletic programs, notably football and basketball. The Washington Post reports that the 5 players allegedly hired the prostitutes from a call service. The girls were called to go to the team's hotel following a game in North Carolina last Friday. The names of the 5 players facing discipline have not been made public. The Post reports that all 5 are minors. Moving can be challenging, but one Las Vegas woman says it proved to be a real headache when she ran into trouble canceling her internet service. That's when she decided to reach out to our Contact 13 Call for Action volunteers for help. Action News anchor Tricia Keene reports. Take a look at what someone else is calling a joke. Oh man, everyone's got an opinion. We'll tell you all about this presidential punching bag. And tonight's financial focus, a look at how the market closed. Dow Jones was up 15 to close at 13,307. The NASDAQ was up about 1 point and the S&P was up 6. Well, federal authorities say lawn and garden company Scott's Miracle-Gro will pay $12.5 million in criminal and civil penalties for violating pesticide laws. The Department of Justice says the penalties are the largest so far under those federal laws. Scott's pleaded guilty to applying toxic insecticide to its wild bird food products and falsifying pesticide registrations. It also pleaded guilty to distributing pesticides with misleading and unapproved labels and distributing unregistered pesticides. And it was a modest growth in, well, no, it was a modest growth in the heat. That's what it was. A little warm out there. Brian Schofield, how's that weather looking?
Major growth in the sticky weather coming up for the weekend, yeah.
Ben & Jerry's ice cream is headed to court to battle a porn company. The popular ice cream brand says the company is using a knockoff version of their name to sell the adult DVDs called Ben & Cherries. Ben & Jerry's is trying to stop the sale of those DVDs with a lawsuit. Coming up later in tonight's ABC Primetime lineup on Channel 13, it all begins with Access Hollywood at 7. Then it's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire at 7:30, followed by the Stand Up to Cancer National Fundraiser at 8, and a 2-hour presentation of 2020 at 9. Then on Action News Live at 11, a Valley woman gets a phone call that the Prize Patrol is headed to her house. The promise, a share of $1.5 million. Sounds like a good time, right? Well, in a Contact 13 consumer alert, what the caller asked her to do that confirmed this lottery wasn't legit. Politics. Exactly. It's always a fight. All right, well, still to come on Action News Live at 6:30. A new mixed martial arts league is set to debut at Planet Hollywood. It'll be called the World Series of Fighting. The fights will be held inside Planet Hollywood's PH Live Theater. The inaugural event is slated for Saturday, November 3rd. UFC veteran Miguel Torres, Gerald Harris, and Josh Berkman are all among those expected to participate in upcoming events.